the day after President Trump calls him Lou Saban, Nick Saban making like Alec Baldwin, picking up Kendrick Blackshire. We got to talk about it after the moment.
Don't be cornering me. Hold up. Time. You got to help me with that corner shit.
What's up, kid folks? It's RJ Young. I am not on a step milk. Consider hitting the like and subscribe button because I upload a video every single day. So it's college football related, sports related. We have a good time today. We got to talk about 6'2", 250-pound inside linebacker Kendrick Blackshire choosing to commit to the University of Alabama. This dude is ready-made for the NFL with that body. It's about teaching him a little bit more about playing inside linebacker, but he is the dude that we're all talking about when you're talking about absolute flesh bomb, absolute freak show. My man shows up and he fills the doorway. This is the kind of guy that gets off the bus and everybody tries to tackle him. Instead, he be over here just throwing dudes off. Kendrick Blackshire coming out of Duncanville has all the tools. Huge pickup for the University of Alabama and the second four-star pickup in the last 2 weeks for Alabama as he follows Dallas Turner, who made it official earlier this year. That is commitment number 12 for the Alabama's 2021 recruiting class, and that vaults them into the top 10. This comes just minutes after Jordan Hancock decommits from Clemson, dropping Clemson to number 8 in the rankings behind Michigan, of all folks, and he feels like he's headed to Ohio State, but we'll have to wait and see on that. The fight for Kendrick Blackshire was one that was fascinating. I've been following Kendrick Blackshire's recruitment for the last 4 years because it's really difficult not to pay attention to a dude that has been 6'2", 240 since he was about 15 years old. And had he not lost a year to an injury, we're talking about a consensus top 50 player for me. Right now, it's 4-star inside the top 150 and inside the top 210 for a top 247, but that could change if we get a football season. I'm going to get Gabe Brooks enlighten you with his evaluation where he comps him to Zach Brown of the Washington NFL team. Projection is rounds of 4 to 7, but here's what it is, right? He had played his junior year at Mesquite before transferring to Duncanville, where he played alongside guys like Jaquindon Jackson, and they were right there in the state championship and just, up against the likes of like North Shore, Zach Evans, Demetrius Davis, just the class of big-time Texas high school football. A bulked-up specimen with virtually college-ready size at linebacker as a high school sophomore. Powerful lower body with impressive upper body build, has made plays as traditional inside linebacker off the edge and playing with a hand on the ground. Could provide personnel flexibility in college, diagnoses quickly and closes fast in pursuit, especially relative to size. Productive with 180 tackles in his freshman-sophomore seasons in Texas's largest classification. Owns size and strength to play off the blocks in the run game. Not asked to drop and cover too much, but gets good depth when needed. Has missed significant playing time because of injury. Missed his junior season to an anterior cruciate ligament tear. Reliable tackler, but can improve breakdown ability and arriving power. Fairly agile laterally relative to his size, but lower body mass can cause some stiffness. Physical ceiling could be limited because of such advanced bulking early in development. Long-term positional home not cut and dried, but could potentially fit almost any linebacker variation. Among the top defensive prospects in Texas for the 2021 class, possesses long-term NFL draft potential. In the state of Texas, he ranks as the number 26 overall recruit in 247 Sports Composite, and he is the number 7 inside linebacker in the country. When you're looking at Kendrick Blackshire, you're looking at a guy that can play Mike, that can play Will, and obviously can play your 5 technique and your 7 technique. Between he and Drew Sanders in the 2020 class, you have 2 of the most athletic freaks playing defense at Alabama. Kind of saw this one coming because Pete Golden, a couple hours earlier, tweets the 2 strong emojis. And we know that Pete Golding had been hard on the trail of one Kendrick Blackshire. It's a really good pickup for him. It's a really great way to look at their defense in the next couple of years. And having him in the boat also means that his rehab and the rebuilding of his knee was so very important to him. And we know what kind of strength and conditioning facilities Alabama has and how they, with, let's call it losing Scott Cochran, right? Depending on who you want to talk to, they upgraded, right? They went with a very modern scientific approach to how to approach strength and conditioning and rehab. And when you have that kind of a Ferrari, you got that kind of Peterbilt, you want it running on all cylinders, and Alabama has done a phenomenal job of putting players back together, especially after sustaining injury, and so good at it, and so much so that guys like Dylan Moses want to come back and play. Now, I'm interested to see where he ends up slotting in for Alabama in that 3-4 that they run, because I like to think that if they're going to get bigger, he plays inside linebacker. Might be a 260-pound inside linebacker. If they're going to play smaller, it's a Terrell Lewis kind of come off the edge guy, but with Shane Lee over there and knowing what Drew Sanders could be, because he's one of the most athletic and gifted dudes that I've seen in some time, I'm interested to know what Kendrick Blackshire does and how he slots into what their reputation is going to be. Now, when we take a look at the class, it's really getting kind of nasty when we're talking about Alabama, man, all right? We're talking about J.C. Latham leading this class as a 5-star recruit, and the number 5 player at his position, number 17 in the overall composite, Corey Brooks, wide receiver, also a 5-star player. Dallas Turner, who I mentioned, was a blue chipper inside the top 50, 4-star player. Ajay Hall inside the top 70, 4-star player. Deontay Lawson, who was just the second guy into this class after Latrell McCutcheon eventually decommitted and then committed to Oklahoma on July 4th. Tremendous size. He's the second inside linebacker that is in this class. Well, he's the first. Kendrick Blackshire is the second. 4-star talent just outside the top 100. Christian Leary, who they expect to play the capstone position, the Jalen Waddle position. Oklahoma really wanted him in the worst way. Nick Saban put that spell on you. And now you're mine, which is, what Saban does, is what he does. He goes into your bedroom and takes out your favorite toys and says, these are mine now. Did it with Jace McClellan. I mean, that's how that goes. Kane Williams also in here, Ian Jackson, Kadarius Callaway, Devontae Smith, who was once committed to Ohio State, reopened his recruitment, ends up committing to Alabama, and Quinn Barnes, who's 6'5", 299, just inside the top 500. And we're talking about one of the better classes, I think, in the country now, but they're still sitting right here at number 11, according to the composite rankings. Man, I expected them to move up. But Saban, whose class is ranked just outside the top 50 in April, just be like, yo, man, summer is for closing. Always be closing. Always be closing. That's what Nick Saban taught us. Also talks, you know what it takes to sell real estate? It takes Donald Trump calling you Lou Saban to your face. Deuces.